Hi friends, this is called Point Piso. I want to explain some things about that are very important. The meaning of words, the meaning of concepts that nobody seems to see. Meaning of atheism, theism, the etymology of the words. Because remember, we are all product of coitus. We are born with a blank brain, no information, no knowledge of any kind. And we go into the world, we navigate the world with the five senses due to sensory gating in the pulvinar nuclei, in the brain, with tons of information through the pulvinar. All this affecting all these senses, picking up all the information, and there is the imprinting period. Nobody's born believing in any gods or imaginary friends or foes. So I want to explain this and why religious beliefs is psychosis. It's a form of schizophrenia, especially Christianity, which is believing of imaginary friends who say with blood. And this is extremely dangerous. It's going to make us extinct. It's because of all the problems in the world today is the psychosis of God belief, or imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief. I fall fifth. And people don't seem to see it. People talk about God, but they don't know what a God is. And blind, sane, also known as atheist, scientists like Dawkins and Harris and brilliant astrophysicists like Dr. Krauss, Dr. Kaku, they never seems to realize that they are creating all the thinking with their brain. Nobody was born believing in anything. Nobody was believing in speaking the 8,000 languages on the planet. Nobody's believing in knowing things in a particular. I mean, we are all ignorant. We all are ignorant. We all have tunnel vision in certain things. The key is to connect all the dots, and that's what I do. Connecting the dots and rely on the information of others that are experts in the field. And they attach and connect to all the informations. I attach all the connection of historians, experts in their field. They are mentally healthy, in other words, atheists. They are not disturbed by the psychosis of some God belief or imaginary friends or foes. And then also the historians, and then the archaeologists. I go with the experts, the astrophysicists, the architects, the biologists, the anthropologists. People that are experts on the field. That's what I center on. Then I connect the dots. And that's the reason I express my thoughts to you so you can understand them. And also people that are experts in languages. So we have to connect all the dots. We can never study everything because it will take us 2,000 years to learn things, to fit the brain with all this information. But we have to think logically in deductive thinking to understand these different things. And understand that the brain is the creating of thought, and we communicate with each other, and we're all crazy apes, evolved into the primates. We have to keep that in mind, always. And their religious beliefs, which is all religions are composed of the imaginary friends or foes, irrational beliefs. All of them, like a schizophrenia. There it is. And religion is a schizophrenia. It's one of the schizophrenias. Let's keep that in mind. And I will show you the problem. The United States discussing mental illness. They don't realize they never talk about religion. None. Religion is not mentioned. Especially Christianity, which is psychosis. This psychosis is all in churches all over the United States. Millions of churches. Molesting the brain of children. Nobody mentions this. Nobody complained about the churches molesting the brain of children. And they're responsible for mental illness. They are responsible because not all the brains can reject all the delusions. See, and this is the problem. Some brains are susceptible to disease, and a kid is born in a Christianity infected home or Islamic or any religion, and they cannot fend off the delusions. They don't look outside the box. They don't think outside the box. And they believe in the religion of the parents and and they believe it's true. And that's what you have, the faith, the people with the spirituality, with faith, and with the the psychosis of IFOFIB, ephobia, imaginary friends of foe, irrational beliefs, which is religion, a psychosis. And I'm going to bring some clips so you can understand this. To understand my point, I mean, this is ridiculous. Nobody sees it. But I want to explain about atheism and deism, psychosis of deism.
Has been studying mass killings for 30 years. Voices, but experts say people suffering from extreme mental illness are more often a danger to themselves.
The bipolar commit suicide at a rate 3 or 4 times the general population.
Investigation done by Mother Jones. Only 12% of mass murders since 1980 were committed by people with severe mental illness.
Mental illness for anyone that has some significant problems, or disgruntled workers, or a bit paranoid, or loners and don't function very well in society, that to me is a little bit unfair and too loose a definition.
It's admitted these acts, almost all of whom are men.
Well, mass murder is a guy thing. 97 to 98% are men. It's a guy thing. We're wired with testosterone and etc. to be.
We ask the question, why?
Certainly what we have seen is of mass homicides. And in mass homicides, mental illness is overrepresented as a factor.
And they question why on mental illness. Well, it's very simple. You have children that go to church and they are taught all this garbage, this mythological crap, in the millions of churches in the United States every Sunday by their psychotic, Christ-psychotic parents. And and that's where your mental illness comes from. Because they teach them that as if they were true. IFOFIB, ephobia, imaginary friends or foes, irrational beliefs, as if they were true. They're all over the church. That is the cause of the mental illness. That's the why. And they don't see it. They never bring up religious psychosis in any discussion. Never, 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 never. And you know what Christianity is? Is the belief a zombie God 2,000 years ago was crucified and then resurrected to save mankind for the sin committed by a madman and a ribbed woman when they accepted a fruit from a talking snake on a garden. That is Christianity for you. I never mentioned that. That is a psychosis.
Year. So we have an increase in mass killings. We have a decrease in hospital beds for people who are most at risk to commit those killings.
Well, an answer.
We can't predict.
I can.
It's going to be violent.
Closing churches.
A vast amount of public might be red flags. How
People that go to church, that's a red flag. Idiot.
There's one of these tragedies, and people come to videos, and it's obvious this person was
Try the churches. Try to believing in imaginary friends or foes. Bizarre beliefs.
Just as crucial, experts say, curtailing their shooting.
That's what it is. They teach churches. In churches, they teach all this crap. Psychotic thing from the Middle Ages. That's mentally ill. A person that believes in this 12th century things to be reality this 21st century.
Don Lemon, CNN.
Help people with severe mental illness.
These are called psychiatrists. They don't see religion.
For being
They never mention religion as a mental illness. Never.
Heard in Don's piece, somebody saying this is.
And they talk about the stigma of mental illness. What about people that go to church? They believe in Jesus and they kneel down and pray and Jesus saves and all that crap, and the Jehovah's Witness, the nuts going around to knocking on doors, and the missionaries, Christian missionaries going to places that don't belong to, spew all that garbage of Christ psychosis, this disgusting nonsense on other countries. They go all around all over the place, missionaries. A stigma of mental illness. Yeah, the stigma, people that go to church are crazy people. They're believing all this gas and crap like that, imaginary friends or foes, irrational beliefs. That's a stigma. Why a stigma? Just tell them like it is. If you're in a mental hospital, you believe in ancient aliens or brain implants, you are sick. And you can say you're sick, but if you go to church or a synagogue or a mosque and you believe in imaginary friends and all this crap and all these gods, and you are ill. So you're no different than a schizophrenic. And they don't mention, what is the stigma there? No, just tell it like it is. Neurologists tell you that. Dr. Pisk is an idiot. He's clueless about all this stuff. He doesn't understand. They talk about spirituality. Spirituality is air in the lungs, as I explained in my videos. From ancient times, from the etymology of the word. They start hocus pocus nonsense. You can say spirituality is psychosis if you're doing spirits running around. And that is the truth.
That males are wired with testosterone and aggression.
This guy is clueless.
Is that mental illness does tend to manifest on here. So we have the perfect form of male aggression meeting the
religion is composed of bizarre mathematical beliefs.
Untreated or
IFOFIB.
Physicians are unable to
senseless mass killings, and they do tend to be predominantly younger males. Now,
absolutely leads to violence, because it does not. But in talking to people who are, have loved ones, husbands, wives, children, it's a slow descent. And when you're so close to someone, you oftentimes don't even see the signs to know to ask for. I heard from Gail. I want to hear from you, Doris, because I want to stay on the signs, because a lot of people are watching, and I'm sure a lot of people know.
Well, we've got to remember, mental illness is a disease. It's a treatable disease. It's something we can all learn about.
Yeah.
In these young, terrible tragedy, or a tragedy that's terrible but nobody would help.
They never mention religious psychosis. Never. Like if it's not here.
Adults. You hit
all the people that go to church
is out of the loop.
They believe in imaginary friends that save and all that. That's what causes all the problems.
They go to the school won't talk to them,
and they don't mention it.
For help, they start saying.
That's what Christianity is. It's based on crap. It's irrational shit.
Oh well.
And they don't mention it.
Hurt anyone yet? Okay,
let me begin with the etymology, the study of words, concepts. Etymology of atheism and deism. Of course, come from the Latin, Greek roots. A, without, absence of, no. And deism, or theism, means God. So, atheism means no belief in God. And what is a God? The concept God is, because there's as many as the brain can create, God is an IFOFIB, imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief, IFOFIB. So, atheism means absence or no belief in IFOFIB. I can go with God. You see what I mean? So a person that does not believe, doesn't have IFOFIB, believes in imaginary friends or false irrational belief, that it doesn't have that at all. He believes in reality and tangible reality, based on science and based on facts and based with the evidence to back it up. A person like that is sane. Sane. In other words, the brain functions so well that is not, he had to say, show me. He doesn't accept anybody that tells him, all the fairy tales and whatever somebody tells him. No, he analyzes the study. He uses the deductive thinking and say, well, this is not possible. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, people don't resurrect. People don't say with blood, sin of what, and stuff like that. And you question all the fairy tales. This is who created this book? Who wrote this book? Was it under drugs or what? A person like that is an atheist. Means no belief in IFOFIB, which means sane. Now you have a deist. And what is a deist? A person that believes in IFOFIB, imaginary friends or foe. In other words, an intelligent. The IFOFIB can be anything that that person accepts as true that has no backing on science or evidence. IFOFIB is an imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief with no basis on fact or on reality. So that's what a deist or theist is. A person that believes in intelligent designers, in crap like that, that has faith. But what is faith? All this is a creation of the brain. Faith is a creation of the brain. Take some pills and some mirtazapine or some datura flowers or a few beers and drinks and all that, and you'll see imaginary friends. And your thoughts will be incoherent. You won't be able to put all the thoughts together. Why? Because of chemicals in the brain. And the same thing happens when a person suffers mental illness, like schizophrenia and all that, and religious beliefs. Disturbances in the brain, in cognition. That is a deist. Is a person that assumes that these things are true without realizing that his brain is creating this irrational crap. That person is sick. In other words, he has, like I call it, theism psychosis. A person that believes in ancient aliens and all that, that is ancient alien psychosis. Or conspiracy theory psychosis. Because these are not based on facts. That's what a deist is. So these are sick people. As opposed to an atheist, which is a sane person. So all religions are based on ifofibs, which means imaginary friends or foes, irrational beliefs. Tell me, who in the world believes in imaginary friends, like intelligent designers, gods, and all the rest of stuff, or foes, which are evil entities? What person believes in those things to be reality? Besides children, because they do have an excuse. Well, guess what? Schizophrenics, people with psychosis, bipolar, all that stuff. And actually, you can get yourself cured of that if you realize that these things, your brain is playing all these tricks on you because you drank too much, or you took LSD, or you took something, or you have a problem with your brain in cognition. And then you realize that these things are not real, but your brain is trying to tell you that they are. So therefore, you realize that you suffer from schizophrenia. There's been some intellectual mathematicians that actually, schizophrenia, I forgot his name, but he realized that he had a problem. So he corrected himself. You cure yourself of that if you realize what you have. But if you are ignorant of neurology, then you cannot understand yourself that well, and that the brain is creating of thoughts, then you believe that reality. And all religious people are psychotic. It happens. And the churches in the United States, they make people stupid, intolerant, homophobic, pedophiles, irrational, psychopaths, shooting people and all that. And they don't realize it is a mental illness. This is the problem in this country. And neurologists like Dr. Pinsky, these guys are completely clueless. They don't realize these things don't exist. And this is a problem in the country. It's religion. Nobody mentions Christianity. This is the cause of all the problem. It's the elephant in the room nobody sees.
Conversation following the tragedy in New
Adam Lanza, a Catholic, is brought up in Catholicism.
Lanza's mother, and she says she loves her son, but admits she is terrified of him.
See?
Liza Long joins me live on the internet. I love my son, but he terrifies me. Liza, elementary school shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. And harrowing ride to school with her own child. And then she tells us why she's sharing her story. She says, his mother, I am Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris's mother. I am James Holmes's mother. I am Jared Loeffner's mother. I need help. In the wake of another horrific national tragedy, it is easy to talk about guns, but it's time to talk about mental illness. And well, so Liza, it's so nice to have you on. What an incredible piece.
They don't talk about religion. They don't mention the subject.
To have a child.
And there are millions of churches in the United States, and the only thing they induce is garbage, nonsense. It's irrational things, all is schizophrenic.
You feel like
religion is a psychosis. Nobody sees it. They don't talk about it.
Who's had a child with a disability of any kind knows the frustrations and the answers anywhere. When you're actively seeking for help for your
what is the religion of this lady?
Where you turn, you get solutions.
What is she was brought up? What religious psychosis was she brought up? Nobody mentions the religion they are bringing. It's all a psychosis. This idiot doesn't see it.
How is your
None of them sees it.
She wrote this.
Let's go back to February 2012. Dr. Pinsky on a different disorder this time. Conversion disorder. Let's go back last year. Check these clips. The guy is clueless.
Disorder can sometimes have medical issues that are contributing to it, precipitating it, making it more likely to occur. So the fact that it's being called conversion doesn't completely rule out the environmental influences. So those are continuing to be...
All the lab work and CAT scans and MRIs that I've had done within range, within the normal range limits. So if it ends up being environmental, does that mean that I don't have hope of getting better? You know, these are thoughts that go through my head.
The original diagnosis of conversion gives the doctors treating in that vicinity something to work on, and they apparently, or most of them, are getting better.
So, conversion disorder, it's also happened to the crypsychotics? Yeah, conversion. It's probably chemical. Just, you know, it's like something like, I don't believe it. I don't think it's real. Conversion disorder takes, conversion? Why? They're going to be converted to what? Another religious psychosis? Conversion? I don't think this is very true. I have to check on that. Yeah, conversion? Oh, God, my ass, it doesn't exist. It's all in the brain, correct? Dr. Pinsky doesn't understand about the placebo effect. Autosuggestion. When people believe something really deep and they convince themselves that something is happening to them, they act like that. And Dr. Pinsky doesn't realize that. It's all in the brain. The guy's an idiot. Doesn't know any neurology. So anyway, that's what's happening. And that's what I was acting like that. You know, you believe that yourself that you're sick and something is wrong. No, man. And you act it up. That's a conversion thing. And he doesn't understand it. Nobody mentions religion, which is my point. Religious psychosis.
Professionals reached out to me during the ensuing months.
Again,
my son did have another.
Never mentions religion, which is they believe on imaginary friends and all that, or foes. There are irrational beliefs in all religions. They are taught in churches. Nobody mentions it's a schizophrenia. It's a schizophrenia. They don't see it. They're stupid.
But now that we have a
especially this idiot here. They believe in gods and spirits and all spirituality. Are idiots. They're ignorant. Ignorant people on etymology, on the beginning of the words, the history. They're completely ignorant people. They're ignorant of neurology. Don't know anything about how the brain works. Idiots.
Getting to proper care, as Liza's story highlights. And I'm wondering what happened with Liza that initially...
Proper care is to shut down all the churches.
Once she's hospitalized,
the churches infect people with this garbage, nonsense beliefs. They are schizophrenic beliefs. Except they are reality. That's a schizophrenic, and they don't see it. This idiot doesn't see it. Medication, close the churches, you imbecile. Nobody's born believing in anything. It's all this garbage of religion that infect the mind, the susceptible minds of children with all this garbage. When they grow up, they're believing all that crap. And they act on the delusions. That's a schizophrenia. Man, you guys stupid.
Go ahead, Liza.
Years ago, when he was 17, he came to me and sobbing.
He's a pastor.
Daddy,
he believes in
really
crazy
clear.
crap.
I'm not gonna get any better.
It's schizophrenia shit.
The best doctors, the best.
Come on.
The best treatments.
Why don't you pray to your son be God?
Everything you could imagine.
See what I mean?
He says, it's real clear. I'm not going to get any better.
Listen to their son to mental illness. This guy believes in all these imaginary friends.
He was not afraid to die.
What did you say to him, Rick?
That's the problem. Churches are the problem.
They give up and say that the solution isn't there. One thing that needs to change legally.
Yeah, need to change. Close all the churches. Put people like you in mental hospitals. Christians are all mentally ill.
The other way.
They're all schizophrenics.
So much.
That's what faith is. It's created here. Here.
Cannot get a conservatorship.
Incredible.
Cannot get.
These people don't realize they're sick.
They see
religion is a schizophrenia. It's another word for a schizophrenia.
To family members,
Yeah.
even
Incredible.
when the family member has given permission.
Let's keep in mind, religion is a psychosis. They believe in IFOFIPs, imaginary friends of phobes, irrational beliefs, as true. It happens in dysfunctional brains with cognitive dissonance, sensory gating, deficits. Perception of reality are garbled in the brain that you don't understand it that well. It's like when something has a virus, it's like a computer has a virus, it don't give you the right information. So let's keep that in mind. Religious psychosis. This belief in fibs, called gods and demons and all that, is a mental illness. It's a very dangerous type of schizophrenia. It's the most dangerous of all of them because people, neurologists and scientists fail to see it. And this is extremely dangerous. Look at circumcision. It's all the effects, all this whipping and all the religious festivals with all these crazy people nailing themselves to crosses, going to Jerusalem, the city of nuts, doing all this crazy stuff. And these people are the cause of it. Suicide bombers. All these people are disgusting. Look at the Crusades. Look at all these Christian imbeciles, killing gays and, doing all these tremendous racist pieces of shit. And you see that the KKK and all these are thanks to the psychosis. This schizophrenia of some begot belief or fibs. Imaginary friends of phobes, irrational beliefs. Pace di oro. Enjoy the truth.